Alright everyone, welcome back. So, we continue on our teams clinching with the Vancouver Canucks. So, I know I'm very late to this, and I apologize to all Vancouver Canucks fans everywhere for this taking so long. So Vancouver was the latest team to clinch. They clinched on, I believe, Saturday. It's Wednesday at the time recording of this video. And a little disclaimer, stats that came from the Canucks game since Saturday were actually not included in this. So the game against Anaheim, the game against Vegas, they're not included in this. So these are the stats from when they exactly clinched. And I do apologize. It's my fault. I didn't record them all in time. I got very busy this weekend, so I just didn't have time to get them all out and recorded. So that is on me, and I apologize to all Canucks fans and Avalanche fans for this taking me so long. So regardless, the Canucks are currently 45-20-8 for 98 points. They have scored 252 goals, have let in 195. They are 24-9-4 at home, and they are 21-11-4 on the road, and they are 7th in the NHL. So yeah, Vancouver, they are a team that I would say it's not surprising they're doing this good, because I think people thought they were going to be a playoff team this year. I was a little bit on the fence with that. I really didn't know, because I bet on Vancouver to make the playoffs in previous years. And they just never did it. They were kind of like Ottawa is this year, where they started off terrible and then they had a really good second half of the season. That's what the Ottawa Senators are currently doing. Vancouver was that team for a while. Now they have a really good start to the season, which I said was going to be what made or break this team. And it's a good thing, too, because now they're kind of struggling, but they are in a playoff spot, so it's all okay. But I will say that, even with the struggles in Vancouver, this team's still a really good playoff team. Even though they haven't made the playoffs in a little bit. They made the playoffs in 2020. Before that, it wasn't since 2015. So, for sure, this team has not seen a lot of playoffs, and I'm glad that Canucks fans will be able to experience that this season. So your leading scorer is JT Miller. Miller with 73 games played, 35 goals, 57 assists for 92 points. Miller's been a great effective player this year. I've really enjoyed Miller, and was a player who dealt with a lot of issues under Bruce Boudreau, dealt with a lot of attitude issues reportedly in the locker room. That was fixed with Rick Tocchet. Everything seems to have been fixed there. So it's good to see that from Miller and the Canucks, seeing that he's improved. And I remember, too, there were even rumors that he was going to get traded at some point last season. So it's good that Miller obviously did not get traded, insofar as having a really good year with Vancouver. Second in scoring is Elias Pettersson. 73 games played, 33 goals, 51 assists for 84 points. Elias Pettersson, a player who has had a more or less a career year. He's kind of cooled down since his contract extension, but has still had a pretty solid career year with Vancouver this season. And obviously, too, was signed to a contract, I believe, at the beginning of March. So about a month ago, he was signed to that big 8-year deal. So it's good to see that Vancouver took advantage of Pettersson. And now he's locked up here for the next couple of years. Fourth in scoring, Quinn Hughes. Quinn Hughes has played 73 games, has 13 goals, 68 assists for 81 points. Last year, it seemed like it was clear that Erik Karlsson was going to win the Norris because of his offensive points. Even though there was arguments for Cale Makar and Adam Fox, there was the clear cut that Karlsson was going to win because he was the leading scorer. Well, as of right now, Quinn Hughes is the leading scorer for the Norris Trophy. So the only issue I see with that is you're going to have to beat out Makar. You're going to have to beat out votes with Makar. And what a lot of people see in news, when you win an award, the hockey writers will typically refer to you as the guy. And when you win an award once, it's not that difficult to win it again. It really isn't. So Makar has no pressure when it comes to winning the Norris Trophy. Hell, I don't even think he wants to win the Norris Trophy. He wants to win the Stanley Cup, obviously. But when you become the guy, you don't have to prove yourself anymore necessarily. The other guys have to beat you for you don't have to beat them. That's kind of what I'm saying there. And that's what I'm trying to get at here with Quinn Hughes. Essentially, with him, he's a guy who, if he wants to win the Norris this year, he's going to have to beat out Makar. But I do feel like it is a year where we see Hughes win it. I have said in many years that Quinn Hughes will get a Norris Trophy at some point in his career. And I think that this season is the year for that. I don't know if he gets any more after this, but I think that if there was a year for him to get the Norris Trophy, it's probably this year up to this point in his career. So hopefully Quinn Hughes gets it. I'd love to see him deserve it, and it'd be good to see. Fourth in scoring is Brock Besser. Besser with 73 games played, 37 goals, 31 assists for 68 points. I've mentioned in previous Canucks videos that Besser's never had a 30-goal season before this year, and now he's about to hit 40. So a really good breakout year out of Besser, and even too, there were rumors that he was going to get traded in previous years as well. I brought that up in plenty of videos, and I even said, yeah, Brock Besser's getting traded. Besser's gone. Besser's traded. I think I said that last year. I even think I said that the year before. So really, it's good to see that Besser's having a good year in Vancouver because it's really eliminated all of those horrible, trade rumors that were developing in the previous seasons. And then fifth in scoring is Filip Hronek. Hronek doesn't get enough credit. I think that Quinn Hughes, not that the overshadowing isn't deserved. Quinn Hughes has been overshadowing Hronek a little bit here. But Hronek, 73 games played, 5 goals, 40 assists for 45 points with Vancouver. I mean, hey, Hronek has been a very effective player for the Canucks. And, I mean, he's been very happy was in this Canucks system because he's really improved with Vancouver and has really helped backbone that blue line necessarily. So when you're talking about salary cap and heading into the offseason, Hronek could take up a lot of money. So you thought Pettersson would take up a lot. I'm not saying Hronek will take up more, but Hronek's going to take up a decent chunk of that money that you have left over as well. So that you got to keep that in mind there too. Obviously, there's other players on this roster like Nils Höglander. You also got Quinn Hughes. You also have Elias Lindholm acquired mid-deadline. Fourth line players like Teddy Bluger, etc. So that'd be nice to see there. But obviously, they have a very solid offensive core. Their defense is pretty good. And their goaltending, when healthy, is pretty good. So Thatcher Demko's been on LTIR for a little bit. He has not played recently, which might be a factor in why the Canucks have been struggling. You got to keep that in mind. But Demko, 34, 13, and 2, a 2.47 goals against average and a .917 save percentage. Again, he's been on LTIR, so that's why his numbers are a little bit compared to some of the other goalies in the NHL. But, obviously, less games played means that you obviously are not going to have as stronger stats as other goalies. Or maybe you'll have better stats, who knows. But yeah, Demko obviously I think he's a reliable starting goaltender. He 100% is for Vancouver. I hope that happens in the future. I really do hope that he will finally get some recognition because even I'm one that has not given him recognition in previous years. When I would do my top 10 goalies list, I forget Demko. Demko is 100% a top 10 goalie. Demko is probably a top 5 goalie if we're just talking this season. So that is something there too that I do want to mention. And then in your backup slot, you have Casey DeSmith with an 11-7-6 record, a 2.71 goals against average, and a .901 save percentage. DeSmith has come in, has been an effective goaltender for the Canucks. I do think that he's been a pretty serviceable backup when he's needed to be. Additionally, too, Artur Stilovs has come up and has played well too. I just realized too, I was making a goalie tandem ranking for another video. I put Stilovs instead of DeSmith. My apologies, but I'll sort that out for another video. But yeah, DeSmith, obviously an effective goalie, a good backup for Vancouver. And yeah, that's the team more or less. They have clinched the playoff spot. Do I think this team goes far? It wouldn't surprise me if they win a round or at least go to the conference finals. But it wouldn't surprise me either if they're first round exits. It really wouldn't. Because you look at this team, they're playing awesome. Yes, they are. But they don't have experience. A lot of these guys have not experienced playoffs. And the ones who have, it was that 2020 run. It was. A lot of the other players, like per se, JT Miller, he experienced playoff runs with the Rangers and the Lightning in previous years before Vancouver, if I'm correct. The only other thing that I can think about is also Elias Lindholm. He's experienced a couple of runs there too, second round exits, first round exits. He's experienced that as well. But apart from that, I don't think there's any other players on this team that have experienced playoffs besides maybe like Teddy Bluger or some of the other fourth line depth players that have experience. But apart from that, this is a team that has not made playoffs very often. So I don't really have expectations heading into the playoffs. I wouldn't surprise if they make it. I wouldn't be surprised if, they fall in the first round. It really wouldn't surprise me either way. So regardless, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below on the Vancouver Canucks and them clinching a playoff spot. Thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe down below. That would be greatly appreciated. But regardless, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios.